Warning, this video will probably ruin your childhood. Disney movies contain a ton of hidden sexual references. We're talking genitalia on VHS covers, priests with visible erections, shots of naked women, and even the word sex just breezing through The Lion King. It's not clear who was exactly in charge of this back in the 90s creating these films, but they just went full blast, putting every reference they could in these movies. Let's talk about something a little bit more recent, like the production Frozen. Like when Anna is quoted saying that foot size doesn't matter, which is a little like nudge to saying that, you know, foot size equates to genital size, which I would say no. From what I've seen, sometimes there's people taller than me, and I'm like, wait, what's going on?
What's his favorite food?
Sandwiches.
Best friend's name?
Probably John.
Eye color.
Dreamy.
Foot size?
Foot size doesn't matter.
Now, I cannot unsee this Lion King cover, because in this cover, there's actually like a half-fucking lady on the front. You might not be able to see it because it took me a second, but after I saw it, I was like, wait, hold up. Because essentially what I'm seeing is that the nose of the lion in the sky is like the bikini, little like bikini moment. There's the derriere, and like the arms are like up like this. Maybe it's just a lion, but it seems a little bit too consistent with a lot of other things we've seen. We also see stupid and weird characters. Like in the Toy Story in Sid's house, there is a hooker toy, a fish hook that has some seductive lady legs. In the movie Cars, there's a reference to a lemon party. And according to dictionary.com, a lemon party refers to an early 2000s shock website featuring an image of 3 elderly men getting it on. And a lot of Disney fans think that this scene in Cars is a direct reference. It also featured a bunch of older cars, because in this movie cars are like people, so these old cars partying with lemons, so it really is a clear reference. In Ratatouille, we saw some painting, which isn't very child friendly. It just doesn't really add to the story or make sense. In the movie Aladdin and the King of Thieves, there was a joke about a honeymoon, and again, it just doesn't really make sense with the child content. We see this time and time again where the people who create content for children are challenging the boundaries.
Let me be the point man. The Earth wasn't supposed to move until the honeymoon.
So really, they're trying to suggest that the couple were getting it on, which I feel like is kind of like an adult reference. Like, if you know, you know. There's a ton of nudity. I mean, in the movie Fantasia, we see some casual, straight up, like, boobies on screen. Going back to Cars, there is a moment where Lightning McQueen, the main character, was flashed by some groupies, and, again, kind of like an adult moment. It is a car, so I don't know what they would be flashing, but you get the point.
Me.
Now, The Little Mermaid is by far my most favorite Disney production of all time. I think it's the best one. It's just, that's my favorite. But if you look at the old VHS tape, this is clearly not the artwork they would use anymore, because there's a wiener right in the middle of this castle, a big golden wiener. There's a rumor that a disgruntled employee actually did this and got away with it. But I mean, you'd think that a lot of this would go through cross-checking, and how do you not notice that? There's also another moment in The Little Mermaid where the, like, priest, the, you know, bishop, he goes on to marry the prince, and he ends up putting his on a stool, and you can see it clearly, like, flopped up on there, and it's just kind of a weird thing to draw out.
Dearly beloved.
Like, really, guys, who made the bishop guy, the priest? I don't know exactly what his title would be. I'm not that skilled at, like, certain religions, but who made him back in? Like, seriously, fess up. Going back to Aladdin, there was a moment where he came upon a brothel. If you guys don't know what a brothel is, it's pretty much like a house where workers will go and you can get their services, and it doesn't really make sense to include in a child's film, but it's something he stumbled across, and again, it's like a if you know, you know moment.
Gotta eat to live, gotta still to eat, tell you all about it when I got the time.
Yeah, so clearly you can see, like, they're trying to depict something in that apartment.
Prince Ali, handsome as hell, live far square. Adjust your veil and prepare to gawk and grovel and stare at Prince.
There's at one point where Aladdin told teenagers to take their clothes off. There's a scene where he says, "Good teenagers, take off your clothes." This is a hotly debated moment because some people don't believe that he said this. They believe he said, "Good kitty, take off and go." But others suggest that he has other things on his mind.
So how's our little bow doing? Let's get it. Come on, good teenagers, take off. Come on, good teenagers, take off.
Now, I feel like he could be saying "good kitty," but looking at her reaction there, it kind of shows you what they want you to believe is happening. She's walking in on something that is inappropriate. Now, I'm excited to talk about this one because this is just so bizarre. Like in The Lion King, we see the word sex just spelled out, just like in front of a bunch of these kids. Disney tried to claim the dust actually spelled out SFX, which is a nod to a visual animation studio, which, okay, Disney. I mean, that just shows you that they are intentionally trying to spell out things in clouds, trying to put messages through. They try to do SFX, so that's what they're saying. So, it looks like SEX, and I think everyone can agree, but it is interesting to hear them admit that yes, they were trying to put some type of messaging secretly in a movie. Now, this is ridiculous. I mean, there's a movie called The Rescuers, and you can see there are some mice here, animated, and a cart riding through, and it looks like a photo of a woman who is topless is like in the window in a building that they're driving by. Like, who is adding this, like, you know, inappropriate stuff to this movie? Like, Disney definitely doesn't have an explanation for that one. And same goes for Jessica Rabbit's wardrobe malfunction. If you pause just at the right moment in this scene in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, you'll notice that Jessica Rabbit's dress flips up and exposes her lady parts, or at least a flash colored area that's extremely hard to identify, but most definitely looks like a cartoon genital. By the way, Disney tried to play off all the drama surrounding this moment, but it didn't exactly deny that someone in the animation studio did this on purpose. And you guys know animations are very difficult. It's like cut by cut by cut. So if they want to do one little cut of something weird, I would just... Not only is it gross, but also, like, how do you have the time to do that extra work? Like, don't you just want to get the project done? You have to spend, like, time putting these little Easter eggs in? Or is this what Mr. Walt Disney would want?
What an unfortunate accident.
Now, there are several problems with the Jessica Rabbit character and Disney's production. Like, let's talk about Baby Herman being a huge perv. In an early version of Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Baby Herman is seen walking under a woman's skirt and briefly points his finger towards her underwear. This moment was edited out of the DVD release, but it's still out there. There's also this dude in Hercules who has a wiener-shaped head, like, ew. Also, do we not like the word wiener? I think wiener is approved by YouTube, so I'm not going to use like any like C or D word. Or I don't even know if I can say like, I think I can say wiener, and this guy has clearly a blue wiener head. It also seems like he has matching eyebrows to go with it. Why? I mean, looking at this thing in action, you can tell there's something very wrong with this character and whoever drew him. So I think everyone has a big question. Why, Disney? Why did this happen? I think it goes back to the top.